Welcome to Grazora Live, where we talk about how to help small business owners become the kind of people that can take their business from where it is to the level where they'd love it to be. Um, Today we have Jason McKenzie, and he is going to help me figure out how to take advantage of social media.
All right.
Now, before I completely put him on the spot, I'll give a little bit of background about myself. I at one point um, owned a portfolio of companies that did $20 million a year. So I'm familiar with taking a company from a very small amount of money to a relatively large amount of money. I personally have sold over $40 million worth of stuff, mostly steel,
Not your
but
companies, you.
not personally, like to
Yes.
my customers. Like I've
There we go.
generated that much revenue personally. And I've had sales teams who have generated far more than that over my years in business. And through it all, I have completely avoided anything to do with social media, online advertising. Like the closest I've ever come is a website. And I can tell you that the website, we didn't have it, we only had it. And I think maybe when a customer was checking us out, they might look at it to see if we're legit, but like we didn't generate sales directly through the website. It was just something we had to show that we were, that the companies were legitimate.
Mhm.
And I hear all over the place that I need to have a personal brand, and I've got to start selling online. And there's this whole bigger world out there, and I know that there's a lot of ways to be, to achieve the success that we look for as entrepreneurs, to be able to not only um, build our own wealth, but to help other people.
Mhm.
Um, so I want to get your thoughts on, the whole getting into social media.
So, I think first off, are you familiar with Alex Hormozi?
I am familiar with Alex Hormozi.
Okay.
Yes.
I
Big fan.
think it's in his first book. He tells his story of getting on social media. Do you remember that?
I remember that he said, what I remember, and I don't know if it was from his book or watching one of his videos, but
Mhm.
it was that he did not want to be in the limelight. He wanted to be able to stay in the back and avoid having any attention on him. But
Absolutely.
he
And
he he
he was
realized,
successful doing that.
and he was,
Yeah,
but he realized that he couldn't have the impact that he wanted to have and help people the way that he wanted to help them without putting himself out there.
absolutely. So
Which,
what's the one thing, or maybe you have a collection of things that are holding you back from being online?
it, part of it, I
And for
think one thing that
anyone who's watching, I had no idea he was gonna ask me to do this today. This is all right on the spot, not scripted at all. So, anyway.
yeah, exactly. That's the whole point of the Gazora Lives. I mean, sometimes we work from notes, but this is essentially unscripted. That's the point, to show real entrepreneurs having a discussion, that hopefully can help anybody who cares to watch, including ourselves.
Alright, enough stalling.
Enough stalling. So part of it's like there's just so much content out there, like, and why do I need to throw my hat in that ring? Like how can I truly provide any value to anyone, um when there's so much great stuff out there? It seems like it's just like a drop in the ocean. So and I've
Mhm.
obviously I've heard other responses on how I
Sure.
should think about this differently, but I still come back to this. I mean, obviously haven't internalized any of that and learned, as Alex Ramosi would say, because there's been no behavior change.
So that's a great stumbling block that you have, and I'd have to say you're right. With your mindset, you're right. There's no reason to get on social media. Now, we'll come back to that in a minute and work through it, but the second question before we can do anything else is, why would you want to be on social media? Like, what's the purpose?
Because I truly do want to help more people.
And do you
Like,
believe that social media does help people?
well,
Like,
I believe that if I can extend my reach, that I can help people,
okay.
and it's and the social media is simply the way to connect,
Mhm. So
not
by
not the
using
source of
social
benefit.
media, you think you potentially could connect to people you can't connect with otherwise.
Yes.
Okay. And so even though someone else like Alex, who has a huge reach, is already on social media, you're saying there's people that you can connect with that Alex isn't connecting with.
It's what I've been told.
But do you believe it?
Obviously not enough to really start.
So the other piece is what was your who was your favorite teacher growing like from the time of kindergarten all the way up through whatever degree you did or didn't maybe get?
Um, Actually, there were 2 history professors that were my favorite
Mhm.
in
Would they have
college.
been my favorite?
This is a great analogy. Likely not.
Okay. So, I never took that history professor's class, and you just told me that I probably wouldn't have connected with him. So, even though Alex has huge reach and you don't, you told me that you believe you can impact more people by being on social media. And so that at least a percentage of Brett believes that. And then you also believe that there's too much good content, therefore yours doesn't apply. But you told me that 2 history professors rocked your world completely and transformed the way you're living your life because of them being in the place they were in, sharing the content they shared. And then Alex Hormozi or any of these other influencers, they aren't sharing most of the time anything earth-shattering. The same principles that have guided humanity from the beginning of humanity till today still exist, more or less. Like, we discover new truths, but by and large, we're rehashing the same material. And you literally told me the people impacting you the most are people who study stuff that's dead and can't change. So couldn't you
No.
have just been impacted by the books? Because like, there's already so many books that have been written. This is absurd. Like, why even bother going to school? You literally I'm sure these were college level professors, yeah?
Yeah.
So you could have gotten the same education with 50 cents overdue fines at your local library and learned all the same information. So what good is it to go and sit in the class with a professor who's gonna,
Well,
just
but
flap
you're
their gums?
that's not right, because one of them is my favorite,
Okay,
um, because of the experience.
okay.
So so he had us all write papers, and then he had us grade the papers of other people in the class. So we got in small groups and graded each other's
Mm,
papers. And then our professor also gave us a grade
okay,
afterwards.
got it.
And when I was reading these other papers, I knew the paper that I wrote was far better than any of the other papers that I looked at. And I looked at 5 or 6 other papers, so I didn't look at all of them, but
Sure.
of the 5 or 6 others I looked at, my grade was far better. My paper was far better quality than theirs.
Uh-huh.
Yet when they got their grade back from the professor, they all had B pluses and A's, and I got a C.
Oh,
And so I went to the professor and I asked him, like, what is going on here? Like you can't tell me that my paper wasn't better than their papers. And he agreed. He's like, your paper was way, way, way better than theirs. Like it was clearly. And I was like, well, then how did they get A's and I got a C? Well, and he said, well, I can tell from the questions that you ask in class that you did not give your full effort to this paper, that you could have done even better.
oh man, grading you on your potential.
Yeah, it just drove me nuts because I'm like, wait a second, this is completely unfair. But he's like, I'll give you a chance to do it over, and if you want to get a better grade. So I was like, okay, fine. So I went and I did it over instead of spending 20 minutes to do a paper that was better than the other people in the class. I went and actually spent some time and created something much better. Got my A. But that experience was like he and it's bothered me multiple times by different professors. It's like there's a moving finish line. But at the same time, as I've been in business, I've realized it's always a moving finish line.
Yeah.
because everything is comparative. So anyway,
So
that was a lesson that I learned from my experience with him that had nothing to do with the direct content that he was teaching.
so it was the human.
It was the human aspect.
And so I'm sorry I couldn't convince you, but I think you convinced yourself. And now, forever on social media, you'll be known as the professor.
Me? I don't think
Yes,
so.
because you're seeking to have that same impact on other people that the professor had on you. Therefore, on social media, you're looking to be the professor, not necessarily teaching like a professor, but having the impact of the professor. Sorry,
Yeah, to
professor.
help people reach their potential. That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
That's why we're doing everything that we are with Grazora, is to help business owners, entrepreneurs reach their potential. Because we believe that next to religion, there is no force more powerful for good in this world than business.
Probably families.
Well, if I'm putting that under the umbrella of religion,
Oh, okay,
um,
okay.
but I mean, yes. So if you were to break out, it'd be family, religion, business. But it's up there. Like there's nothing that's better for personal development. There's nothing that increases the standard of living. There's nothing that makes life better. There's few other things that make life better compared to business, and it's entrepreneurs that we want to help to be able to do that. Um,
And
anyway,
clearly,
so
clearly, everyone else on social media has your exact same mindset, and therefore, there's no need for Brett to be passionate about his passion
now
or
you're
share
being
his
now
passion.
you're being completely facetious. Okay, so then what? So then what do I actually post about? What do I like? How do I start? I mean, from what I've heard, I need to pick one platform and start posting and try and be professional so that it actually gets attention. But I don't even like, how do I actually
Try and be
follow those steps?
professional. That's
Yeah.
I'd say
Oh,
that's some of the worst advice ever. It's
okay.
I would say it's important to be yourself, on social media, because
Okay.
why would we be any different on social media than we are in the rest of our life? Now, I'm not saying we share everything about our life on social media, but we might as well be true to who we are so that we're not putting on a show when we're on social media.
I've heard that. Yeah, that's fair. Yep.
And the people that are most fearful of that, usually it's not because of the people that are outside. It's usually an issue that people have with themselves, that there's some part of themselves that they're uncomfortable with. There's some part of themselves that self-doubts. There's some experience in the past that tells them they're not good enough as is, and therefore I must be like someone else who is accepted. But the trick is nobody is truly accepted by other people. You'll be praised when they agree with you and criticized when they don't agree with you, but the real issue is, are you okay being you?
Yeah. Okay. So if I'm okay being me, and and I've convinced myself through your questions and analogies that I really should do something on social media, it still begs the question, what is that?
Mhm.
And then from a technical standpoint, how does one go about doing it?
Well,
When one
I'd say from a technical standpoint, the number one thing people shouldn't do is they shouldn't try and create something and then delete it. I'm a huge proponent if someone's starting out on social media of going live because there's no undo, there's no delete, and what has been is and won't be changed. I've I've talked to people over and over and over, and they'll record something or they'll type something out, and 12 variations later, they've given up and they went and started eating comfort food because they can't take the stress anymore. But
Mm,
when a person goes live, you click the button, hold up the camera, say whatever you're going to say, turn it off, and you move on with your life. And it's not a matter so much of what you say the first 100 times as much as it is that you are saying something for 100 times. I was I was talking to a guy who started getting into bodybuilding, and he was, I think, close to 40 when he started his weightlifting routine, and he got a personal trainer, all the weights, spend a fortune on it. The personal trainer had them training with just the bar. Now, this guy wasn't in that bad a shape. The reason he was training with just the bar is they said, you want to just get started and teach yourself the framework of how it works. So we're not going to put the max weight on you until your body already has such a muscle memory in you that it's so natural that it's easy to do this without even thinking about it. And once he had the right form, once he had everything laid out, then it was time to start stacking the weights on and start getting strategy. Some people can start with strategy and have a whole plan and execute. Others just need to start, and they can talk about their passion, whatever that one thing is that they really love the most. I wouldn't recommend talking about everything, but I'd pick a couple of types of topics. If you really love the outdoors, maybe you talk about the outdoors. If you really love a specific football team, talk about that football team. Pick just a couple of things. The other cool thing is you can always pivot and start talking about something new or stop talking about something else, right? It's pretty easy to start or stop talking.
It's fair. Okay.
So,
So as far as content goes, just it does the initially it doesn't matter what I talk about, it's just the act of doing it
yes,
more than anything.
absolutely.
Just to ingrain those motions.
Absolutely. And then it matters it does matter, but not as much as people give emphasis to. It
Mhm.
matters that you talk about something that's important to you.
It's fair. Okay.
Okay? What else is troubling in the world of social media?
Okay. So let's say I picked a platform
Okay?
and I make a list of topics that I'm passionate about or that are important to me and start recording videos
Great.
and then just post them, paste them, whatever the terms are.
Mhm. Or if you go live, then you don't even have to worry about posting or pasting because as soon as you're done going live, it's up.
Okay. So what about
So,
all the fancy editing and effects and things that you see from
mm,
people?
yeah, amazing idea. How much time do you have to do all that?
Much time as I make?
Okay? How much time do you want to spend doing that?
None.
Good. That would be like adding extra weights onto the bar when you're first getting started. It will
Okay.
come over time, but initially don't push it.
Okay. So then my analogy would be as I have started to exercise more consistently than ever in my entire life, just the last 12 months, um, as I've gotten stronger and more capable, I haven't wanted to just do the same workouts that I started with because they're completely ineffective and they don't push me. And so I've had to make my workouts more challenging as I've gotten stronger. So in that exercise analogy, the special effects and all the other things, captions and such, that will come over time as I just incorporate the basics.
It might, but it might not ever be necessary. Maybe your style is such that you don't worry about the editing and the special effects.
Mm, suppose that's a possibility. So what about the and
You know,
I guess that's the whole thing. Whether it's then the next thing is consistency.
the next thing that most people worry about is actually a little bit different, and sometimes it comes up right at the beginning. It's what do I do when the haters show up?
Oh, because you're saying if I actually post stuff, I have to pay attention to the comments?
I didn't say that.
Oh,
But human nature, you can't help yourself.
I actually think I could.
So, most people can't because it pops up a notification, and as soon as you open the app, it might tell you, "So and so left this comment," and you'll see at least half the comment. And if they're hating on
Oh,
you, you're gonna see it at some point.
except for, oh, I guess probably when I'm in the app, I could actually see. I have all other notifications are turned off. So,
Okay.
um, but I guess when I open an app, I might actually see the notification. Or
Yeah.
at least you say the first part.
So I would say for anyone who is concerned about that, and maybe you're not, Brett, but a lot of people are, Grant Cardone has the best philosophy on this. And I've discovered this philosophy on my own, but he said it in a very articulate way. He says, "Get more haters." Like, "Oh, okay." So, and here's the real concept behind that. Like, I had a friend 20 some years ago who was scared to offend anyone. And I pushed it to the max, and this is a very religious guy. I said, "How can you be scared to offend anyone?" He's like, "No, I just hate offending anyone." I said, "Well, let's set up a scenario. Would you rather offend Jesus or the devil?" "Well, I can't offend it. I can't offend him." "Well, you have to pick one. You're going to offend one or the other. So which one's it going to be? Can you offend the devil?" "No, I can't offend him." "Well, then why do you go to church?" "Because I'm supposed to." "Well, that offends the devil." And we walked through this whole scenario of him being him is naturally going to offend somebody in some level, and there's no getting out of it.
Well, it's on them though.
But a lot of people have a hard time dealing with the negativity that the haters bring towards them. And the
Mm.
reason, again, that people have a hard time with that is because oftentimes there's some insecurity that the hater, when they poke, the person starts protecting the insecurity. And they go from whatever the hater said to being attacked emotionally at the things that they're scared about themselves. And so they don't hear what the hater's saying. They hear their criticisms of themselves when the haters are talking.
Mm.
And so when people have those insecurities, the haters can really do a number on you if you aren't ready and excited to face the challenge. So first we have to recognize I'm going to have insecurities and I'm going to work through them. Second, I should set a goal, get a piece of paper, stick it to the wall, and say, I'm trying to get 10 haters. And then you start looking for them. Oh, I got one. Bob Jones on January 3rd. Got one. Okay, now I got to go and offend 9 more people by me being me. And when you turn it into a game, pretty soon you're excited for the haters and you're looking forward to see how many more haters you can get. The other cool thing is you start getting haters, then you start getting people that support you, and you create this microcosm just by you being you of the supporters going after the haters and the haters going after supporters. And then it builds this whole ecosystem of people that are trying to defend what they think is right, and you're just trying to be you.
No publicity is bad publicity.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah. Not a issue that I was actually even concerned about, but it's a fair thing to bring up.
Hmm.
So really, it's just start and just be consistent. Once a day, twice a week, something along those lines.
Pick something that you can do that leaves you wanting a little bit more. That would be my advice getting started.
Actually wanting a little bit more.
Have you ever been able to eat just one chip
I have the one chip challenge. Yes.
and then you wanted a little bit more, right?
I wanted a little bit more, but
Right.
I've been
You do
able.
the same thing social media, and then you get done, you're like, "Ooh, oh, I want it." And then when the next time comes around, you're excited for it instead of overwhelming yourself so much from the get-go that you're dreading the next session.
This is like the dating advice they give to young people. It's like end the date before you want to, so that they're not like, oh, is this over yet? You end before you get to that point, and then you actually can get a second date.
There you go.
Okay, that's fair. So what else you got for me? Like what? I guess at this
People
point,
always wanna know which platform.
I don't think it matters, does it?
It doesn't. That's the trick. It only matters if you have a preference of one you hate or one you love. If you hate it, don't start with it. If you
Well, I
love
hate
it,
them all.
start there. Which one do you hate the least?
Well, the only one that I actually have an account for is Instagram. Not that I have any
Mhm.
posts. So
So why do you hate it?
I don't know. I just don't get any satisfaction out of the social media side of things, of interacting with people remotely. But I've never really done it either. So I
So
suppose I'd have to
your
go in.
definition of using social media is interacting with people?
Wasn't that what it's for? Is it the social aspect?
I'm asking you what your definition
That's
is.
what that's my thought. I mean,
Okay.
the whole point is to be able to interact with people.
Is it?
I think so. Yeah.
When was the last time Alex Hormozi interacted with the 10,000 comments he got?
He's got bots that do that.
So you're saying he doesn't?
Probably not.
Are you saying that really social media is an interest engine where the influencers of a specific interest produce content and others consume?
Well, yes, but then the point is to lead them into my other stuff.
And
So then I can interact with them outside of social media as well.
so you just told me that social media isn't the definition you have in your brain.
At least not entirely.
So therefore, you hate a fantasy in your brain that doesn't exist?
I'm just gonna have to try it and get used to it. Maybe it's
I
probably it might be just I feel completely incompetent when doing anything on it because I'm not familiar
oh, okay.
with how it works.
So I think what I heard you saying, if I can be a little analytical, and hopefully I'm not going to get torn apart for this, but you said you have a misconception of what social media is and how you're supposed to behave on it, and that leads your hate. And you have an insecurity because of a lack of knowledge of how to behave. And those are the
Sure.
two things that make you not want social media.
Okay, well, yeah, let's go for that.
Okay, well, there we go. So now you know the root two things, and one of them is a complete fallacy that you have to interact with people instead of broadcasting who you are and what you stand for. And the second can be overcome by a little education. Half an hour with an AI bot or on the internet will teach you all you need to know,
This is true. Alright, so apparently there's nothing standing in my way anymore,
except for you.
and I just gotta decide I just have to make that choice to go and make it happen.
I think so. Yeah, I'm excited to see you start posting.
Alright, well, we'll start posting.
What's your plan?
My plan is I will figure out how to actually make a post, and then I will make a post, and I will get it posted today.
Today,
Yes, today.
or maybe in a few days or next week or the week
Nope,
after.
today.
Okay, we'll see it.
We'll make
We'll
one
see
post today.
it.
There's no sense in waiting. I mean, if you're gonna do something, just get it done.
You might as well. It's the fear of what's going to happen is often worse than actually going through it.
Yeah, the first step is usually the hardest. The second step is much easier than the first.
Yep.
Okay, well, that's what I thanks for helping me work through my mental blocks and limiting beliefs.
Happy to help.
Is there any other great wisdom that you've heard recently that you'd love to share with us?
Well, I'd say we're almost out of time, but the flip side to that is social media is good if you want a presence, but I want to call out the fact that you were successful without any social media ever, and you're not alone. Everyone up until 2000, whatever, was successful without social media. So the fallacy that you have to be on social media to be successful is ridiculous because for 2000 plus years, successful people didn't have it. And so there are tons of ways of being successful without it today, but it is a powerful tool that can help.
Well, it's my job to figure out how to how it can help me to continue to help other people.
There you go.
So, okay, well,
And we're
thanks,
out of
Jason.
time. Thanks. See ya.